Hello, welcome to GP Podcast. Today we're diving into something I think is on a lot of people's minds. How in the world do you get a handle on AI without letting it completely take over your life? You see it everywhere, right? Tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, they're just popping up in every corner of the internet. And there's this little voice in your head saying, I really should be learning this. But then reality hits. It all feels so overwhelming. You've probably got a few courses bookmarked, telling yourself you'll get to them when you have time. Well, that exact feeling, that sense of being too busy to keep up, that's what we're going to unpack right now. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into the AI learning dilemma, why so many of us get stuck. Then, we'll look at something called the 15-minute method, which is a really interesting solution. We'll take a peek inside a platform that actually uses this, break down who this is really for, and then wrap up with the single most important takeaway from all of this.
So, why is learning AI so, frustrating? From what I've seen, most courses fall into one of two buckets. On one side, you've got these super technical engineering level guides that just assume you know what an API is. And on the other side, you get these vague, feel-good talks that show you all the amazing things AI can do, but they never actually teach you how to do any of it. Either way, you're left asking the exact same question. Okay, but how do I use this at my job tomorrow?
And that, right there, is the heart of the problem. When you're working a full-time job, you're managing a team, you're running a business, the idea of blocking off 40 hours for a course on ChatGPT, it's a non-starter. What people really want, what we want, are skills we can literally put to work the next day. So this brings us to a totally different way of thinking, and it's being used by platforms like Coursiv. Instead of demanding a huge chunk of your time up front, the promise is simple. Just give us 15 minutes a day. You see, it shifts the whole game from intensity to consistency. And for busy people, that might just be the secret sauce. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. We've all been there with the old way, right? Those massive courses that we start with the best intentions, but never quite finish. The new way is built around a completely different principle: consistency. It's designed to slot right into your life, whether you're on your commute or just taking a quick coffee break. And clearly, this idea is catching on. I mean, look at this. A platform like this has brought in over 800,000 users, so they're definitely doing something right. And they're covering the big stuff you've heard of, ChatGPT, Midjourney, but also a ton of other apps for things like creating content and automating your boring tasks. The big idea behind this whole thing is a concept called microlearning, and it's really just based on, how our brains are wired. We're just so much better at remembering things when we learn them in small, daily chunks, instead of trying to cram it all in during one giant session that, let's be honest, we're probably going to forget half of anyway. So what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look inside the user experience, because this is where the theory either becomes reality or just falls apart. One of the coolest things they do is this 28-day challenge. It's basically like gamifying your career growth. Every day you get a quick lesson on a new AI tool. But then, and this is key, you actually practice it right then and there, and then you do a quick quiz to lock it in. It forces you to be active, not just a passive viewer. You're building a habit. And this really gets to the core of it all, a laser focus on practical skills. The goal isn't to bury you in theory. It's to teach you exactly how to use AI to write marketing copy that actually sells, or how to get those tedious, repetitive tasks off your plate so you can focus on the big picture. I love this quote because it perfectly explains features like their prompts library. You know that feeling when you're staring at a blank ChatGPT screen? Well, instead of freezing, you just grab a pre-made, proven prompt and tweak it. It gives you those training wheels while you learn the ropes, and before you know it, you're riding on your own because you actually understand how it all works. All right, let's have a real talk about who should actually consider something like this. Because listen, no tool, no matter how good it is the right fit for absolutely everyone. This microlearning approach is tailor-made for a specific person. If you're looking at the AI landscape and just feel completely lost about where to even begin, this is for you. If you can carve out 15 minutes a day, but there's no way you're finding an entire weekend for a boot camp, this is built for your schedule. Now, on the flip side, we have to be realistic about who this is not for. If you're already a pro, building your own custom AI workflows and all that, you're probably past this. This whole approach is about getting you from 0 to 1, giving you those foundational to intermediate skills. It teaches you how to use the tools, not how to build them from the ground up. So what kind of investment are we talking about here?
Well, the pricing usually lands somewhere in the $20 to $40 range for plans that last anywhere from a month to 3 months. To put that in perspective, for a lot of us, that's less than what we spend on coffee in a week.
And that really brings us to the big question. Because unlike coffee, this is an investment in a skill that could genuinely change your career. I mean, if learning AI helps you automate just a couple hours of work each week, or it lands you a better job, the return on that investment is massive. And a lot of these platforms even have a money-back guarantee, so the risk is pretty much zero. So what's the real takeaway when we zoom out and look at the big picture? For the people this is designed for, those busy professionals who need practical skills like yesterday, this kind of learning system can be an absolute game changer. It's not about becoming an AI genius overnight. It's about getting the confidence and the real-world know-how to start using these tools in your work today. But honestly, if you walk away with just one thing today, let it be this. The specific platform you pick, it doesn't matter nearly as much as the simple decision to just start. Whether it's a paid course like this or digging into free stuff online, the most important thing you can do is start building these skills right now before you're forced to play catch-up.
The landscape is changing so fast, and the people who are learning this stuff today are giving themselves a huge, huge advantage for tomorrow. So the real question is, are you ready to adapt? If you liked this explainer, subscribe, leave a like, and maybe drop a comment to let me know what AI skill you're most excited to learn. Thanks for watching.